Is this 2024 or 1984? Do you believe your vote counts, or has our democracy gone totalitarian with little consideration for how you feel about the pressing issues? In this year's elections, voters in the state of Florida will have the opportunity to cast their vote in a presidential election, and abortion rights will be on the ballot. The way in which this has happened is an opportunity to understand how the Florida government works, and is a great example of how we still live in a state that acknowledges our opinions before implementing public policies that change lives. Florida has long battled rumors of voter suppression. Some argue that voters do not trust the government or the electoral process, and so they relinquish their vote. Others presume that voter suppression is real and effective, leaving many voters disenfranchised. To get voters back to the ballot box, the public needs to better understand how political power works. In this way, voters in the state of Florida can reclaim their power with confidence. This presidential election is an election of epic proportions here in the state of Florida, and voter turnout will be incredibly important. I'd like to take the opportunity to tell you how issues like the right to abortion came to be on the ballot this year. We'll also learn about voter turnout and voter suppression. We'll learn about how the right to abortion became an issue since Roe v. Wade. The Brennan Center for Justice reports that state legislatures enacted an almost unprecedented number of voting-related laws in 2023. Let's first learn about voter turnout and about some of the obstacles that determine who votes and how. Voter turnout measures the percentage of voters that have taken part in an election. This is important because political scientists use voter turnout to measure the health of our electoral processes. The truth of the matter is that the inconsistent voters make huge differences in critical elections. Black, Hispanic, and Asian adults lag far behind in the most recent elections, with 27% of Black, 19% of Hispanic, and 21% of Asian age-eligible citizens voting in the last 3 elections. Is voter suppression to blame? Imposing strict voter ID laws, cutting voting times, and restricting voter registration are all examples of voter suppression. Voter suppression is most often framed as legislators making laws that make it hard for certain demographics to vote. Some people might think that these measures are made with bad intentions, while others see it as honest attempts by government to protect the electoral process and prevent election fraud. Here in Florida, voter suppression laws have led to fewer polling places and stricter voter ID laws. Let's quickly review the history of Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade is one of the most known Supreme Court decisions ever in the history of the U.S. The case established a framework for legal abortions across the country. The federal Supreme Court decided that the issue of abortion was about the right to privacy and was a fundamental right protected by the Constitution. The topic of abortion rights has been raging ever since, with different states reacting in different ways, and the drama has just recently seen another plot twist. In June 2022, the Supreme Court reversed the decision, taking back a constitutional protection that stood for decades. Governor Ron DeSantis has used his executive powers to make attempts to set the new rule of law in Florida regarding abortion. His legislation and the legal battles that took place in the defense of those civil liberties since the overturning of Roe v. Wade has made for real political drama. We've been witness to political power at play. The story is a testament to democracy in action, and being most informed about the process of political power is key to changing the narratives that keep voters frustrated and inconsistent. Seeing there are legitimate means that voters can influence the public policy, can actualize, and go beyond paper and ink is important to help encourage voters to participate in local politics. Will this hot topic encourage more voters to show up in November? Our system of government does not just allow a governor to set the rules as he pleases, whether you are pro-life or pro-choice. This ballot is evidence that our political system is alive and well. Understanding how political power works, how voter suppression might affect your chance at voting, and reviewing the issues at hand all serve to make voters enthusiastic and more consistent. In Florida, it's 2024, and political process has provided the just opportunity to vote on several issues. All we have to do is stay informed and participate.